Tyler. It should be live.
Okay, so where do I look to see where all the thousands of people that are streaming this live at? Where would show that count?
The top left. Do you see anything at the top left? Or you
Just
don't
a
see?
running clock.
We can show the chat here then too if we want.
Okay,
Um,
cool. So
which
while we wait for people to log in
yeah,
and for people, rewatching the live stream, we're here doing what, Chris? What are we here today? What's so important about this very day?
it is Wednesday, December 10th, Tyler. And we launched
Wait for it.
our little Indiegogo campaign for our new film, which is
Titled, if you look up above,
Creature of the Pines,
Creature of the Pines. That's right.
formerly titled Creature in the Pines, which made no sense.
Had no ring to it. Yeah, no. We had to go through and edit a lot of copy that had Creature in the Pines written on it. Right. But the one cool thing about this, Chris, is it came together relatively quickly, correct?
Yeah.
From concept to getting a location and actors, on board and book cast.
Yeah, we didn't mess around with this one. And you know what? It felt good. It felt good to set a date and then just get to it. And I think that's like for the low budget, no budget filmmakers out there. If you put a date, you schedule a location or some actors, and you don't have everything else ready, when you have that date in cement, I don't know, it forces you to pull everything together and get the movie made.
Yeah, I agree. So no, it was good to have that gun to our head to get the ball rolling. And yeah, fair play to you. You're like, yo, the 14th, let's do it. Yo, Just Gus, what's good? We got somebody in the chat. Nice to meet you. Oh, nice. Yeah. So when he was Just Gus was along on the adventure out to Wisconsin to try and find James. And so, yeah. He heard some phone calls with you.
All right.
And my companions, my travel mates,
Was this everything you imagined it to be based on the voice, the sultry voice? I know people will like hear their voice, especially if they've never heard it before or something, and then they hear it, they're like, I hate my voice. I've heard my voice a million times now doing all these podcasts and everything. I don't hate it, but it's not like good. Do you know what I mean? Some people have that voice, like the Vin Diesels, and just that deep. They got something going on there. I don't have that, but maybe they also like work at it. They act, and it's like all actually just kind of fake.
Oh,
so there's still time, is what I'm saying.
Well, I actually like your voice. I think you have a good bass tone. Mine's a little annoying and scratchy and whatnot.
But that's the beauty of everybody being you. We complement each other, Tyler.
Good contrast, yep. Well, like here's an example. If anybody's familiar with Vlad TV, I don't know why I've gotten his videos fed across my thing, but it's this guy and he interviews rappers and whatnot and hip hop artists and hip hop culture. But you hear this deep voice and you have this like idea in your head of who he is. And then he ends up being this like white guy with glasses, or you're like, wait, what? Like he never showed himself forever. And now he's finally, and everybody's like, dude, I had no idea he looked like that. He's a pretty big channel, but good looking out, chat. So we are, Gus, if you're not aware, I think you saw some of the stuff. We're doing a crowdfunding campaign for Creature of the Pines. We've got 99.9% of it shot. Chris has been editing like a wild man. He has the trailer edited, which looks insane. But we incurred a good bit of costs, paying cast, food.
Yeah, we have a couple things we still need to pay out, some VFX stuff, some other actors and stuff like that, and just trying to pull the movie over the finish line, essentially, is where we're at. But the thing about our crowdfunding campaign, it's really giving anyone who's interested kind of really early access to the film. because once it's completed, we're going to give the people now in this limited time who supported the film a digital copy of it. And then from then, like, we're going to submit this thing to a bunch of film festivals. So it could be another year or so till it actually comes out on platforms, depending on how it performs in film festivals or whatever kind of distribution offers we get. That can extremely extend the timeline for release, even when the film's done. So this is really just a chance for people who want to support low-budget independent filmmakers, also get access to the movie when it's actually done and not have to wait for it to actually get released. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense, Chris. We're asking for a link. There's a couple ways you can go to our Indiegogo campaign. There's a QR code on the top of this screen. I guess you would have to screenshot it, and then when you go to look at it, I think with your phone, it'll give you the option. You can also, Chris just added the Indiegogo direct link. So you can click on that in the chat, and we'll throw one in the comments and description after the live's done. Or depending on how you're trying to access, you should be able to go to creatureofthepines.com and access it that way. Although if you post like the link on Facebook, it says it's not a secure site, so somehow it wouldn't go through
that. Something with the SSL of the link, and even though it's like a forwarder, I don't know why Facebook and some of the social media platforms are flagging it, not letting it the forward go through. So if you're having trouble with that, there's the QR code at the top left, and we have the link in the description. Let us know if that's still a problem. But even if you don't support the film, go to that page because the trailer is posted there, and you can check it out, see what the movie's going to be about, ask us questions about the movie. We're just excited to talk about it, share about it. So any kind of support in that way is awesome and appreciated as well.
Absolutely. And then, Chris, speaking of the trailer, did you want to run that? I don't know. Can you see? Do we have? I know we got just Gus watching. Somebody else scanned, I think, the QR code it showed. Do you have any count on viewers by chance or no?
We only have a handful here, 4 or 5 right now.
Okay.
So we can wait a little bit longer, maybe. Tease it out, Tyler. You don't just.
We will tease out the trailer.
Well,
on my end, I can't see the viewers, so I don't know.
Really?
Trailer looked amazing. Oh.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really happy with how everything's coming out with it. Edits coming together great. It's a really, really cool movie, so I'm excited for people to check it out.
And Chris, people want, before this releases, if you want to check out our other work, Dockside Media, we've done 7 paranormal documentaries to date. A lot of them are on, they're all on Amazon, Tubi, YouTube TV with ads. A lot are on that. So yeah, they're all real, regarding aliens and UFOs, Sasquatch and Bigfoot, ghost hunting. We've got one. Chris is editing. He's got all the footage for an alien abduction one called Stolen by the Stars. So that'll be getting edited here and finished after the Creature of the Pines. But yeah, all of those are real. But we just want to reiterate this one is a narrative film. It was written, and acted and directed and all that stuff. So, dude, Chris sent me that trailer. I almost fell over, dude. Man, it's just great to think 2 guys like us can make that bad boy, along with the help of a lot of great actors.
Yeah,
our boy Tony helping on sound. He was also running knocks on the trees and whatnot. He also helped to secure the location. And that was to knowing Patrick, who appears in the film as the ranger, Bill Carson. You see him a few times in the trailer. But oh yeah, I mean, this was just a massive team effort to get this done. But that's how you get it done. And man, I think a post was made on Facebook, like for a casting call back, in the middle of October or early October.
Yeah,
so we're talking
right.
2 months between casting. And even then it wasn't completely written. A lot of it was, but Well, actually,
We
not
covered.
now. A
It
real
was.
crap
That's not
draft
true.
was written.
That's
It
crap.
was all
How
written.
dare you, sir?
No, not crap draft. But it was all written, but none of that would have ever been sent to any. Like, it was all refined and things added and changed and moved. But
Yeah.
like, you already had people cast, and we were getting that location set up. So it was like, okay, well, we got these people cast. Cool. We got to get this script done before we go film Emily Marsh, right? Or we need to get this one done before we go film whatever it was. So we kept kind of finishing them as it went.
Well, it was written in a way that was very different from anything else I wrote, because I make a bunch of narrative movies. I have a feature film called Transient, it's a sci-fi horror thriller movie. You can check that out on all major platforms as well. But those were all, scripts that were written, refined, many drafts and stuff, and then went and made. This, I wanted to make a faux documentary / found footage movie, but I wanted to approach it like it was one of our Dockside Media movies. And what that means is, like, when we make a Dockside Media movie that is made up of a bunch of interviews, there's no storyline. It's just, here's this interview, here's this interview, here's this interview, here's this interview. And amongst that footage, I kind of craft the storyline or the whatever kind of lines up to create a interesting, entertaining thing, see the patterns. And I wanted to approach this movie like we were making one of our other documentaries with all the footage. So everything was kind of written in isolation. And when we did that, at face value, we're like, this is good, this is ready to go. And then as we started shooting stuff and piecing it together, we were like, wait, we probably need a little bit more here and there and there. And that's why we kept rewriting up until when it was time to shoot. So
yeah, and they weren't big rewrites. The whole beat line and plot you had established through writing, I don't even know, 80 pages or whatever it ended up being, 70 pages, 90. But it was like, the more we kept like bouncing it back and forth off each other, we kept thinking of, oh, dude, what if this happened and we could tie it into this, and like everything, it just married up so nicely where it's such a great story. It's just really good. We're excited for people to watch.
Can you not get these onto Netflix platform? You guys need to be paid for all the effort. So when you make low budget, no budget independent films, without a named actor, it's going to be very difficult to get on Netflix or something like that. Or and especially with the kind of alien stuff we do, we never really tried either. But we had a really good distributor for a while, and then that kind of went off the rails because of some business dealings with them and them being bought by a larger corporation and everything. So we had a rough time for about 2 years with our films where all of our royalties were being stolen. We have our film rights all back now, and we chose the older movies to just go with something like Film Hub, which is a film aggregator. So we have complete control, and we can see all the details of where our movies are being watched and how much money they're being made. For this movie, though, I think we're going to try and work with another distributor, because both of those options have their ups and downs, but we want to get this movie in front of as many people as possible and get it some priority placement, hopefully, on some platforms. Like previous relationship happened with to do with our movies.
I mean, we've been swinging for the fences, like trying to manifest getting them on Netflix, and with the previous distributor, they had ones on Netflix. So yeah, could this get on Netflix? Absolutely. All our other stuff looks great. It just takes, and I don't know. This might be good timing where we have a docu-series, a 6-episode docu-series, Historically Haunted, with Amy Bruni. She's a popular, celebrity ghost hunter. Was on like 14 seasons worth of Kindred Spirits and Ghost Hunters. So we went out with her for a week to El Dorado, California, investigated a ton of places. And that one, between her manager and the connections they have and the network she's been on, it's, we have a good opportunity for, maybe a studio like A24 to pick it up. They may or may not be looking at it.
Maybe.
So, yeah, if we can get that relationship, well, hey, guys, we got this ballin' found footage documentary. Any chance you want to run this too? You can have it.
Yeah.
For the right price. But right now, we just need crowdfunding so we can not go broke. And our kids get a couple, maybe Christmas presents. Again, so for people just tuning in, we're here crowdfunding for our Creature of the Pines found footage horror movie. Why is my camera not focusing?
Because it's found footage, baby.
Oh, dude, see? Things start, they get squirrely around us, bro. We've had that happen. Where is my, focus? Yeah, turn that off. There we go. Turn off that autofocus. AI these days, gosh, it's garbage. Okay. Let's see, Chris. I don't know if we've mentioned, but we're shooting for $3,000.
Yeah, that'll cover
on our crowdfunding campaign.
The costs we need to finish the movie.
And so far, we're at 600. So we're 20% of the way there. It just went live this morning. We're at 7 a.m. There's some different things. One of the perks is like the early digital access, as mentioned earlier. Get the movie in March, baby, when the rest of the world might be waiting a year after that. Who knows, depending on what kind of deal we strike. There's another bundle, and that's $50. There's a $100 perk where you get the digital movie and then the Pine files. So you get like a PDF journal and filled. You get all the BTS footage. You get a commentary that Chris and I will do on the film. So you're going to get yeah, exactly. And then lastly, there is a $500 producer credit. And that's limited to how many, Chris?
5.
To 5.
Yeah, and that you
one out of
just
5.
You get a producer credit on the film. You literally brought the movie to life, so you are now forever part of the film.
Yep. And who knows? I mean, the way this bad boy came together with the writing, the locations, the acting, the directing, the editing so far, I'd say there's a very good chance there will be a sequel down the road. So if you're really into this, you want to be a producer now, and you can be a producer on the sequel as well. But we may move to, I don't know, Chris had another great idea for a Children of the Veil horror film. Wait. Passed away last night. Have to go to his house to see the... Oh, Gus, yeah, I remember. Wait, Gus, real quick. Is that your dad passed away?
That's terrible.
I remember on the live stream to New Jersey, you had mentioned, I thought your father was in the hospital or something like that. We're thinking, praying for you, sending good vibes. Yeah, man, really sorry that you're dealing with this loss. That's horrible. Especially around this time of year. So, Chris, what do we got? How many? Oh, Dad is in the hospital. Okay. Gotcha. All right. Well, wishing him a speedy recovery. All right. I thought that was you who had to leave the other live stream because, yeah, Dad in the hospital. So, all right. Well, we're wishing you and the fam the best, man. Certainly your dad. A speedy recovery. So, Chris, I don't know if you want to play the trailer yet, or do you want to get into why found footage? Like why, what was the idea of going that route? We've done the documentaries. You personally have done the narrative film Transient, correct?
Yeah.
So what struck your fancy for? What about found footage?
Well, I'm a big fan of found footage films. I know I know there's a lot of people out there who I don't think I think it's kind of like a maybe a niche in the horror community. A lot of people know Blair Witch, right?
Yep.
And a few other films, but there's a big community in the footage world, and I've always enjoyed those movies. And what I like about them are sometimes the kind of like anti-cinematic quality of the filmmaking, where it's meant to feel real and not just pretty or uh, I don't know. It's just different. So,
Mhm.
but the one thing that really appeals to us is, Dockside Media is just me and you. We don't have a crew. We just have you and I to making these things. And I thought, well, this is something we could probably still do with just our resources, because having made Transient, which was still almost so little money, we ended up making it for $15,000, which is very little money when you're talking narrative filmmaking. That was 3 years in the making, writing, finally securing the funds through crowdfunding, and then making the movie, and then post-production to get it to come out, and like just very little reception. No one really watched the movie. No one knows about the movie. And having done the Dockside Media things where we do these things and we move on to the next movie. Thank you, Gus.
Yeah, just yeah. Sorry about your brother, or your dad's brother and grandpa. So your uncle and grandpa. Very sorry about that. But I'm glad your dad's still okay and wish him a speedy recovery. And thanks for that shout out on the
Yeah,
trailer. Looks great there, AR.
that's Aaron.
But yeah, Chris, yeah, keep going.
Yeah, so I
I didn't
thought
mean to
this was
interrupt, but I
something
just
that
saw Gus leaving.
I thought this was something we could do with our limited resources. We've made so many documentaries. We know how to make a good, entertaining documentary, a supernatural, paranormal thing. And I thought, well, what if we made our own with our own storyline, and not only do the documentary stuff with the interviews and all that kind of cool stuff, but also mix it in with some found footage. And then in the writing process, I thought, well, we made this Sasquatch movie before called Secrets of the Sasquatch. And it's, I don't know, 5 years old at this point, something like that, 4 years old. And that movie still seems to perform pretty well. There's still an audience for it to this day. And we're like, well, maybe we should make another Sasquatch movie. And I thought, well, maybe I'll write a Sasquatch movie. And then in the process of writing the Sasquatch movie, I got kind of bored. And I switched it over to a storyline that was sort of familiar to a short film I made called Meridian a couple years ago. And I'm not going to say too much about the story or plot line of that, but there's something in the woods, but it's got a more supernatural aspect to it, maybe, instead of just like this creature, right? This monster. There's more to it than just like a primal kind of beast, I would say. And so that allowed me in the thought when I was writing it to get a little bit more creative with the scares and stuff like that. I always think, like, especially with found footage, it's like the less you show can be scarier at times. And I thought, if I'm writing a Sasquatch movie, everyone knows what a Sasquatch is, so I really want to at some point show a lot. And we don't have the resources at this point to make like a crazy Sasquatch murdering people found footage movie. I didn't think.
Well, maybe. We do know Adam Hartwick, and he does have a dope Sasquatch suit.
The Sasquatch suit isn't the problem. It's all the effects and all that stuff.
Ripping
and
arms off and stuff.
It starts to get pricey and time consuming, and it's just been a completely different kind of movie. And I had just finished writing a screenplay with my friend and actor in Creature of the Pines, Greg Papa, and Suji Cruz, a Sasquatch period piece movie. And so like I was kind of maybe a little tapped out with trying to come up with new Sasquatch ideas anyways. So I liked where this movie morphed into. Can you put the link to the funding page in the description? Tyler, he's on your YouTube, so do you want to post that in the chat, the link to the Indiegogo
What do
link?
you?
Because apparently it just went to my YouTube, like Bad Movie Nights. I don't know how to. can I?
I don't know if I'll be able to edit this live.
No, no. Go. Can't you go on the computer into the chat and type it in there, or no? You
Oh.
just put it there.
QT Productions live. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm here. Well, it won't be in the description.
Just put it in the chat. It's fine.
Yeah, hold on.
In the meantime, I can show my pictures with Bigfoot. It's pretty good. What do you think, Tyler?
Can't reply right now. I'm trying to do this. Hold on. Okay, there it went into my. I still don't think I.
My picture with the alien.
No description.
There you go. It's in there. Oh, I see it. I see it in the chat.
Yeah, but like on the actual description of the video, you feel me?
Yeah.
So when they just like down in there, but I can't add it. And I'm about to go insane because I'm hearing the delayed live coming through my ear.
Mute it on the YouTube that you're at.
I'll mute you on YouTube. Okay, yeah, no, that's helping. All right. I mean, I commented in there. I don't think I can. I don't see how I can change the description. All right, let me close that because that was wigging me out. Okay, yeah, that shows comment when we finish. But yeah, so anybody that wants to donate, hey, we would sincerely appreciate it. You can either scan the QR code in the top left, or you can go to creatureofthepines.com. That'll automatically forward you to our Indiegogo site. If you can remember this, I think it's indiegogo.com/en/project/dockside media/creature of the pines. You can run it that way.
Who wouldn't?
Or you can check the live chat, and there's a link in there as well.
Are you telling me I should go to Indiegogo/en/project/dockside media/creature of the pines?
Yeah, right now to back Creature of the Pines. We're looking to raise 3,000 doll hairs.
What do you think of the name, Tyler?
Creature of the Pines? Oh, love it. Love it. Like most of the stuff, you like how it came together. Yeah, you were working on the other thing. Secrets of the Sasquatch doing great. It was like, oh, yeah. Well, dude, yeah. Well, and we've often said, oh, man, like we love filming the paranormal documentaries, but unlike some other paranormal documentary production companies, and we're not throwing shade at them, but we do like a very true job of like, hey, this is how the investigation went. Like sometimes there's activity, sometimes there isn't, right? And I just know after these things, Chris and I, we've been like, oh man, if we could script this, like we could really make it scary, I feel like, because the places we're at and they're just always great, great things. And so all those previous conversations, like it just came into this culmination. Yep. Where it was like, oh, dude, yeah, well, what if we made a a fake documentary about people looking for Sasquatch, and then it was like, oh, found footage, oh, yep, a different kind of creature, etc. And so, but early on in that process, we stumbled upon the title "Creature of the Pines," which was your original question, Chris, and it was one of those, like the other titles for we just kind of knew, like, oh, dude, yeah, no, that's it. That's a movie. That's a movie title right there. And so, just having that title allowed you to craft that right. You know what I mean? Like having a good title like that, you're like, oh, okay, that gives me a good bit of meat to work with. And so, I think it was really cool how, initially it was kind of this Sasquatch idea, and then as I'm reading your drafts, and as we're talking things out, you're like, I kind of feel like this other thing would be a little bit better, this type of creature. Like, oh, dude, yeah, that's a great idea. And you're like, yeah, it kind of allows us to do this. And then like, oh, bro, that's brilliant. Um, so it's just cool how these things all come together, and having the name Creature of the Pines right out of the gate kind of allowed, it just gave us a lot of momentum and momentum writing moving forward.
Yeah, we've done that with other movies that we've made too, where we came up with the title first, and then we're like, let's make a movie about that.
Oh yeah, no, most of them, most of them.
Like in
The
plain
first one,
sight.
Conscious
Yeah.
Contact, full disclosure, we went and filmed the uh Anjali down in front of the Lincoln Memorial, and she mentioned about Conscious Contact or something, and then it was like from the bro, dude, what about Conscious Contact, full disclosure? Yep, that sounds great. But yeah, there were ones like I can't remember the Ghosts of Gettysburg, but definitely Secrets of the Sasquatch. I'm like driving down to the beach, 3.5 hour ride, just whatever. My son's in the car, da da da. He's probably on his iPad at like 7 years old, and then it just kind of like hit me. Secret. I'm like, yo, Chris, dog, what about Secrets of the Sasquatch? I feel like that would, oh yeah. I'm like, all right, cool, man. I'll try and get some campouts organized, and we'll find some people. And then these things a lot of times we often get the title first, and then it gives us tons of leeway. Chris, you want to address AR's lovely comment there about how we're able to make such great looking films on such a small budget?
Oh, that's very kind of you to say. I don't know. I think it's just a matter of always. My filmmaking background has always been one of zero resources, and usually like no crew. So there's a lot of short films I made and everything like that where you just kind of start to figure it out, and the more you do something, you get better at it. Learned a lot, worked with a lot of really talented people over the years. A lot of really talented actors. Got to meet a lot of really talented people who work professionally in the commercial world, which I do as well, shooting commercials. And I got to work with, for about a year, someone who works on really high-end commercials, and learned so much from him on editing. And just, I don't know, I've edited 9 feature films, 20 or 25 short films, and probably like 100 plus commercials at some point. So like I just edit it all the time, and doing something repetitively and learning, you get a lot better at it. So now we are able to do a lot with very limited resources, because I'm not myself. I'm like a jack of all trades, so I'm not like the best of anything, but I can do a lot of things. And so then when I take my skill where I can do a bunch of things pretty good, and I match it with these other people who are like just excel at certain things, acting and stuff, all that stuff, it makes really cool things come to life. And that's part of the collaborative process. So Tyler and I, we've been working together now for a long time. So we are
not even though that long, dude. All these films, I think it was the summer of 2022.
That's basically
maybe summer of 2021, something like that. And Chris was like, "Oh, hey, dude, what do you think? You want to start making documentaries?" Like, we were doing independent stuff. Maybe once a year would help, like bring the other guy on to help with a commercial project or something like that, or work on just, we had a couple short films throughout the years that we helped each other out with, whether it was acting or filming or whatever it was. Yeah. But this was just, it was only like 4 years. Yeah. Dude, do you want to make Yup. Well, what should we make them about? And you're like, how about like ghosts, aliens?
The reason I reached out to you, Tyler, is because of how different we are. I am a person who I don't like asking people for things. I don't want to bother people. So to be a documentary filmmaker and get interviews and stuff like that, you have to be tenacious. You have to be outgoing. You have to be unafraid. And that's not me a lot of times, but that is you. And so we have this good balance, and we can be very honest with each other. and critical of each other, provide criticism over things, and not. It doesn't hurt our relationship. If anything, it makes it stronger that we can be so honest with each other, just because we're trying to make something good. Yeah.
You have gotten better with being more outgoing or whatever,
That's probably just you rubbing off on
or
me.
just yeah, I don't know, just being a little bit more of a risk taker. But yeah, no, it was a good, yeah, it was just a perfect marriage, especially in the beginning where, yeah, like I'm the knucklehead. Well, yeah, I just drove all the way out to Wisconsin and back over 38 hours, napped for an hour and a half, looking for this guy named James who may have disappeared or passed away or something after this YouTube live stream of him drilling into a UFO. That's the Reader's Digest version. But so when Chris asked me those years ago, hey, dude, you want to start making documentaries? I'm like, oh, yeah. And then, like, I think it was like a week later, I see a post on Reddit about this former Department of Defense intelligence officer giving a press conference in front of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., and saying that they had encountered extraterrestrials in a mountain out in California. And I'm like, well, yeah, I saw that. I'm like, yo, Chris, what do you think? He's like, yeah, that looks good. I'm like, bro, I'll go down. One, the balls it takes to go give that press conference in front of people, in front of the Lincoln Memorial in public in broad daylight. Like, that takes some gumption. I'm going to go down and film this. We'll figure out what to do in the back end. And so, yeah, it was that thing. Like, saw that post a week after he said about Dockside or like creating a company. I'm driving, and the post was like for 2 or 3 days later, because I'm like driving down there like, Chris, we need a name for this company so I can make a Facebook page so I can start, posting pictures of down here filming, So we like came up with Dockside, like all that stuff, man. The universe just kept delivering it. And so it was great. Yeah, just in the beginning where it was like, oh, boom, ran down, got that. Saw this other lady who's telepathic out in Albuquerque, New Mexico. She was talking to extraterrestrials in a mountain as well. I'm like, Chris, what do you think? He's like, oh, yeah, go for it. Flew out there. So it's just been nuts. And now it's great to the point where a lot of times, because it definitely is better when Chris can accompany me and we both go. Like when we both went and filmed Historically Haunted with Amy Bruni, it looks light years better because there's just two brains there working together. And Chris can't always think of everything. I can't always think of everything. So like when we're both there, it's like, oh, dude, we can typically get a lot of different things locked down. And Chris is just real good on the lighting and stuff. He likes to take his time with that and make sure, not everybody's real flatly lit and all that great stuff. So I love that. So yeah, how are we making these great films? Also, it's just like consumer grade technology now where we have these couple $1,000 cameras, the Sony FX30s, and they're like a cinema line. Like, yeah, it's a crop sensor, but I mean, they're beautiful, right?
I like the crop sensor.
I do. I don't have a problem with it.
I'm not shooting weddings or anything over here, so. But yeah, that's the thing about Dockside Media is we don't wait. We don't wait around. We don't ask for permission here. We make things, and we've been making things. We're pretty prolific actually at this point with all the movies we've made and stuff. Yeah, and like Creature of the Pines, this is going to be finished being cut probably in the next month or so. It'll be done by March for sure. And we're already working on the next one. Do you know what I mean? We have Stolen by the Stars in post pipeline as well, but we're going to make another one of these found footage things. It's already being, started to be written and stuff like that. So next year we'll be back at it, and I'm excited. Thing is, I think I tapped into so many of the local talented actors here that a lot of them I've already worked with in the past, so I knew that they were going to just make something really great here. So we're going to have to find some more. So that'll be kind of exciting to work with some new people and some other people that I know that we couldn't fit into this movie. So that'll be fun. I think the thing here that I liked doing versus the documentary stuff is the element of narrative filmmaking getting to decide what happened, getting to craft those scare sequences is a lot of fun. And like you said, there's so many times where we've shot like a documentary, and it's like, man, I really wish we had footage of that thing or something like that, because that would be really scary. It would add so much to the movie, and it just doesn't exist. Well, now we have the ability to make it exist in these kind of things. So, yeah.
Yep. Chris, let's see. We've been rolling for 40 minutes now.
Yeah.
Again, we're here promoting our found footage horror movie, Creature of the Pines. You can scan the QR code at the top of the screen, take a screenshot of it, and then, go in there and it'll link to it. You can go to creatureofthepines.com, or you can go to indiegogo.com and type Creature of the Pines into the search bar, and that'll pull that bad boy right up. Chris, what are you thinking as far as any trailer run here, or did you want to talk about, the budget chart or whatever, where that money is going to, how that kind of breaks out? When are we making a movie about clowns, maybe exposing their secrets? It's a good idea.
Secrets of the Clown, the sequel aired. I think I'd rather make a witchcraft movie before I make Secrets of the Clown too, but that's a bad movie night thing, Tyler.
I wouldn't get it. Okay.
We don't really have many people watching, so I don't want to show the trailer right now. But
I got you.
For the recording, if anyone goes back and checks, we could talk about where the money is going. So we're paying all the actors in the film, and I want to pay Tony something as well, because he donated a lot of his time just doing sound on those 3 days for the found footage stuff. I want to pay everyone who was involved in the movie that isn't Tyler and I, because without them, there is no movie.
Yep.
So the crowdfunding goes towards that, and then there's a couple sequences within the film where we could use some VFX work done, and I know a really, really talented VFX guy, a local named James Hanna, who worked on my movie Transient, and he deserves to be compensated appropriately for his efforts in the film. And we got to do some film festivals, and that always costs a ton of money, and that's kind of like a crapshoot. You just throw money at the wall. You don't know what's going to happen, if it's going to get into anything. So there's that aspect. And really, the reason we're doing it as a crowdfunding thing is because these people who do it and contribute now will get early access to the film, because when you make a narrative film like this and you're looking for distribution, you're running the festival circuit, like we're going to submit this thing to a film festival that's not going to be until July or something like that. So the movie will be done, but we'll be sitting here on it waiting to get into these things. And even if we do lock in with a distributor, there's a decent time period for deliverables, usually like 3 months or so, and potentially longer. And depending on the deal, like we're experiencing now with our one show, that can drag on and on and on and on and on for months while the product is sitting there done. So I just wanted people to be able to watch the movie when it's actually done, but not available yet throughout the world. So this gives them that opportunity, because one, they get the movie early, and two, they really help make the movie. And yeah, it's a small, we're trying to get $3,000 to cover everything here. But either way, the movie's getting done.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So there is no risk. If you do pledge or back the film, there's no risk of like, if it doesn't reach the goal, or am I not going to get it early? It's like, oh no. Like all our other movies, this baby's coming out, come hell or high water. You don't have to worry about that. Chris, dude, when he talks about my tenacity about going up and asking me, my man's work ethic, or I don't know if it's OCD or what it is, but we're going out, we're filming for 3 days in Maryland. A lot of the found footage sequences, or all of them, and and that's like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. By Saturday, he's already sending clips and stuff. Dude, this looks good. Oh wow, by like Monday, he's got like a rough cut of like the boys stuff, then a rough cut, of Olivia's, and then a rough cut of the film. I mean, the guy is just an animal. Where, yeah, I mean, that's how. Unlike most crowdfunding campaigns, you're probably not going to see a polished trailer anywhere in that thing. Maybe they went and spent $5,000 to shoot like a proof of concept kind of deal to give you an idea of what it'll look like, but a lot of it's going to be AI. Like, oh no, we already went and filmed the crap. Chris is an animal, already edited this trailer. Like, we weren't even going to release it. We were going to just release we have another crowdfunding video that we will release later that is entertaining and funny and ask for money. And we like it. But when Chris got this trailer done yesterday, it's like, oh, bro, we'd be doing ourselves a disservice to not release this polished piece of cinema. Anybody watching this, yeah, it's going to be like, holy sh. And which kind of leads into, Chris, answer this. What do you like about what we've done with Creature of the Pines? Unlike, and I'm not going to knock any other found footage movies, but a stereotype or something that often tends to happen is like, if I'm watching found footage, it probably ain't going to look too good, right? The cameras might be kind of crappy. The cinematography or how stuff's framed up, not going to be. So what do you like about what we did with that found footage concept here?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, a lot of found footage stuff is meant to not look good either. Like, you want it to be realistic. So there is elements to that. Like, when we're running around in the dark woods at night, there's only so much you can do without lighting the forest, right? But, a lot of this movie we did shoot in Maryland, even though it's supposed to be the New Jersey Pine Barrens, so we can talk about why we shot in Maryland. But the location we had, the time of year, it was just beautiful outside, right? Matched with, we're using FX30s, which aren't like super high-end cinema cameras, but they are still cinema cameras. With some decent color grade, it just gives you a really cool look. Then the aspect of the movie is that it's not all found footage; it's a fake documentary as well. There's interviews and stuff like that, which we are able to sit down and light and give it that nice, more polished look. So you get a clean cinematic look for that stuff mixed with some found footage stuff. A lot of it looks really pretty, and then a lot of it looks real and scary. So I don't know what, because there's a lot of found footage movies that look great too. One of the inspirations for our movie was Hell House LLC, which I think is a good looking found footage movie. Obviously, there's some Blair Witch influence in this movie, and now we don't have the degraded camera look, and that movie was made a while ago, so
right, 99 or whatever.
Yeah, shot way different than this. Yeah, I don't know. Should we talk about why we shot in Maryland and not New Jersey Pine Barrens?
Yeah, go ahead. You want to touch on that, or?
So yeah, the movie's supposed to take place in New Jersey Pine Barrens. Creature of the Pines. Obviously, it's pretty important to have pine trees in your movie. That was one thing that was pretty difficult for us to lock in a location. Hello, Elva. Thanks for joining us.
What up, Elva?
So we originally were like, well, do we go to the Pine Barrens? We thought that might be a logistical nightmare. 3.5 hour drive for the actors. No place to charge anything. No batteries. No, no idea if we're going to get kicked out, what we're going to be able to do. We're going to be able to kick a campfire, all that kind of stuff. A lot of questions up in the air. The look is great, though. Obviously, if you've ever seen the New Jersey Pine Barrens, it is creepy in itself. So there's a place near Philly that had a pine grove that's like a reserve, and I reached out to them. They wanted thousands of dollars a day for us to even be there, let alone they wouldn't let us do a campfire. A bunch of issues with that. So we're like, I don't even know if that's feasible. Finally, Tony, my man Tony, was talking to some people in his business group, and the one person said, well, I have this cabin in Maryland, and it's got a big pine grove, and you guys are welcome to come shoot there. It's 90 acres. So we're like, all right. So we roll out to there. It's the most perfect location. It is isolated. It is creepy. It has a cabin with a bathroom and electricity. It's got a trail that we can easily walk down to where our fake campsites are. And not only that, it comes with the man himself, Patrick, who is the guy who has this cabin. He's the nicest person of all time. He literally bends over backwards all the time to help us in this movie while he's there. And then we're like, you know what, Patrick, you got the look. Would you be interested in doing this role? Find out, yeah, I used to do theater all the time. So he ends up playing the ranger in the film, shoot this awesome interview on the porch of the cabin. It looks beautiful. It's just the synchronicities of that kind of stuff. This is what happens when you start putting things together. You start collaborating with people. You get the date on the calendar. You start making a movie. The people come out who want to join in on a project like this.
And don't undersell his help. I mean, my man had a quad with a trailer attached to it. So instead of having to lug all these tents and all these all that gear back to where we were filming, which wasn't terribly far, a half mile or something. But believe me, Chris and I made that walk enough times where it's like, oh, dude, if you can haul that stuff out there on the quad, man, that would be great. And then we had to build a fire pit, right? Because you just need stones to build a fire pit. I'm looking all over, dude. I'm like, gosh. Again, Patrick coming through in the clutch, rolling up with a wagon full of giant stones. Like, oh, thank you, Patrick. We didn't have a fire, or not a safe fire, unless you came through there in the clutch. So, yeah, it was cool. Between Tony, helping secure that location, and then Patrick, it was perfect. And just with that kind of movie magic, if you watch the trailer, you see the opening drone shots. Those are actually of the New Jersey Pine Barrens. I actually went down there. And again, like Chris talked about these synchronicities, I end up at this spot where, again, Patrick ends up playing, say, a park ranger or whatever. And he mentions maybe he's had worked at Tower 36. Well, dude, I find this spot in the Pine Barrens of this massive tower overlooking this uninhabited, just wilderness forever. And so, man, it's just so dope to go out and get those shots and be able to do that. I had to go get my remote pilot certification or whatever it was years ago. But Chris and I don't mess around. So it's oh, dude, we can get these shots that, man, they would have had to use a helicopter and hundreds of thousands of dollars to get this shot 20 years ago or whatever. It's bro, this thing looks like it's made in Hollywood. We can do this, just the two of us. So it's cool that we can get those shots. So, man, when you watch the film, if we didn't tell you in this live stream, it was filmed in a pine grove in Maryland, your brain would automatically just see those wide shots. And then or the drone shots of the Pine Barrens, and the rest of the movie would play out, and you just assume we're in there. So,
yeah,
man.
Yeah, no, the location was perfect, especially because, we're running around the woods screaming and stuff. You didn't want people to think there was actually a problem. So it being on a private property really helped us with that.
Oh, for sure. For sure. What's
the matter?
Just looking at some stuff here. Well, do you want to talk about, I guess, well, one, thank you everybody who's tuning in now and listening to Chris and I talk about our new found footage horror movie, Creature of the Pines, that Chris is currently editing. So thank you for tuning in. Two, thank you to everybody who's contributed so far. You can do that by scanning the code above. You can go to creatureofthepines.com, or you can go to Indiegogo.com and search Creature of the Pines, and that'll pull it right up. But the importance of trying to get a little bit of traction here on day one is that algorithm over on Indiegogo, Chris, the more funding we get and engagement we get in that first 24 hours, right? That's going to help, that can help propel it and just put it across people. We're not trying to get rich on this at all. We're trying to make back and help with some of the production costs it took to make this movie.
Yeah, and like we said,
But
for
it'll
those
help
out
put it in
there,
front of people that don't know us.
well, and the reason to support it now is you will get way early access to the film. So,
Exactly. Yep.
March
Early
release.
digital release. Chris will have that bad boy done by March, most likely before. At the rate he's been editing right now, it's unreal. I mean, he's got 50 to 55 minutes worth of already polished movie, or pretty polished. Some of it needs to be pieced together, and yeah, everything else. Well, and that's just only what I saw. I'm sure he's already gone through a lot of the other interviews and everything. So, my heart can barely, it's about to beat through my chest about how awesome this thing looks, Chris.
One thing that really added to the production value of the film was collaborating with Chris, who is a local police officer, and we won't say the police station, but a local police station that allowed us to film in their station, in their interrogation room, in their holding cells, and then the officer as well taking us out on a police car to film some body cam footage and stuff like that. So it looks legit. And it, like I said, it really adds the production value of the film because we're trying to, sell the realistic aspect here. And so someone getting interrogated by the police and being picked up by them, it just looks legit because it is.
Yeah. It's in an actual, interrogation room. You got the cuff or the loop to cuff them to, like on the side, on the wall and everything. And, but yeah, no, Chris Rupert, you made a great point. Massive props to Chris the cop.
Yeah.
Because just the dude went above and beyond. I mean, we were there from like 2 p.m. until 5 p.m. and my man's like, hey, I gotta go, whatever, eat, and then I gotta come do my shift. But if you guys, if something doesn't look right or you guys want to reshoot it, let me know. We'll just redo it. Like, what? Are you kidding me, dude? We just took up 3 hours of your time. So, yeah. I mean, without him, the movie, it gets made, but just production value is not as good. The story's not as good. Like, if we just had to use some fake room as the interrogation room, we just had to use some fake police car or somebody wearing a fake police. I mean, like when my man walks in front of the dash cam camera or the dash cam, it's like, oh, dude, you can tell. Oh, no, that is a legit police officer uniform. That's legit taser, mace, firearm, everything on him, radio. It's like, oh, that looks heavy to wear. Oh, that's because it's real, dude.
We tried to convince him to actually mace Greg, but he wouldn't do it.
I know. Maybe next time.
Save it for the sequel.
Yep.
The other thing we had to do for this movie is because we're typically making, the documentary, so it's a lot of interview footage, and then a lot of B-roll and stuff is shot on a gimbal, which if you're not a film person, a gimbal helps stabilize footage, so it can give you, really smooth movement. We use that a lot of times with the B-roll shooting in a slow motion or a high frame rate so that we can slow it way down and it looks very smooth. But this being found footage, we didn't want people out there running around with gimbals. It doesn't really make sense. We wanted it to feel real and lifelike of sometimes very amateur people holding a camera, right? Someone who's not meant to be like a camera person at times. So we built this little rig for the FX30 camera, which in itself, again, looks kind of like a small DSLR style camera, but it is a cinema grade camera. So we built this little rig that we were able to mount a light on top and a microphone, and then also a wireless transmission transmitter on there so that we could view the footage if the actor had to hold the camera. So at times, some of the actors are doing the shooting, and a lot of times it's me and Tyler doing the shooting.
But that was great having that monitor there, right, Chris?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think it helped tremendously. One of the concerns was, like, you want it to be found footage, you want it to look real, but, like, real isn't always good if you can't see anything. You know what I mean? So you're out in the woods, there's no light. So we supplemented a little bit here and there. We really didn't have much gear, though. We didn't have, like, big lights to fill the forest or anything. We had a bunch of camping lights. I do remember that. that we put on a light pole that were like 3 camping lights that would just fill a little bit of the
Like
area
little
to
lanterns,
give a
LED
little bit of
lanterns.
moonlight. That just all right. Well, that'll pop some stuff so it doesn't look so dark. Because that was one thing I noticed when checking out other people's found footage movies. A lot of times they must have like mag lights or some sort of really big flashlight on top of these cameras because it just has a beam.
Mhm.
And we just had these little lights, right? And they just
Yeah, I thought
they
that was
didn't
a great find by you. I mean, they were relatively inexpensive. Those
they were
little plastic ones that went
yeah
on top of the camera, and their battery life was great. They were rechargeable, right?
yeah we bought like
And
3 or
they
4 of them. Yeah.
lasted. I mean, they were lasting forever. So I liked it. And it worked out well because in some of the sequences, and it's all justified, but there's 2 cameras being, operated,
Yeah.
and that light wasn't super overpowered. You know what I mean? Like you can
True.
look at that other camera and you can see the light, but you can still see the guy behind him a little bit. And so I thought it was just whether it was pure luck or whatever it was. I thought that lighting was a good choice, but yeah, it does make it hard. Yeah.
One thing I want to talk about here is so this, and I don't know, I don't know what other found footage scripts look like. I know sometimes I've heard people will come up with kind of like bullet points for the scene and then let everybody improv. We didn't quite do that. I did write all the dialogue, but I told the actors, and this is just kind of how I usually work, is let's tweak the dialogue so it feels natural to you so that when you're saying it, if it feels natural to you, it'll come off as natural. And these guys are all professional actors, so like they can make any kind of crap I write sound real. But they tweaked things in ways, and this always happens. They tweak things in ways that I like never would have thought. And I remember a sequence where we were trying to figure out how to justify there being 2 cameras, and I didn't really have a good justification in the script. And I just remember Eric Melaragni, who's super talented local actor. They had this whole thing where he got the other camera because, and I won't spoil it in the movie, but it was like, oh, so natural.
Yeah.
And it was like
Yeah.
beautiful. And like, those are the things, like there's so many times in movies that I've worked with these people where it's just like, they make it so much better than what was written, so much better. And they did that again. The 3 boys and their found footage, the camaraderie and the natural dialogue and stuff that they tweaked and pulled from the script, you wouldn't even be able to tell like it was written because they made it feel so real.
Oh yeah.
Kelly, to her credit, Kelly Warren, a local actress, she was by herself, so she didn't even really have anyone to play off of, just the camera.
Right.
But her ability to just treat the camera, because she's supposed to be like a YouTuber, as another person, a soundboard, whatever, she just made it feel so real, like she was talking to her people who would watch her video. Do you know what I mean? Man, I wish we act in the movie, and I'm not confident in my acting, but like I wish I was able to do what these people do because they're so talented.
I think you got to be easy on yourself, dude. I think you can do it. And when people watch Creature of the Pines, they'll see. You know what you're doing out there. It all looks believable. It's all great. In the trailer, yeah.
Well,
you're like, oh, this place is fucked. Like, yeah, you can see like that little glint in your eye. Like, yeah, you're pissed. Like like you're not happy. Yeah, I thought you did a stand-up job.
Yeah,
but I agree.
In my defense, Tyler, my character is supposed to play someone who's annoyed with you, which when we are out filming, that's like half the time anyways.
Doesn't take much acting. Exactly.
and your character is supposed to be ignoring me and hyping me up. And that's what you do all the time. So
there we go. I know there was some concern. Well, actually, I won't even bring it up, but like just about, oh, is there too many jokes or whatever throughout the film? Yeah. Just because, one, it is a horror film, but 2, it's like, you need to be entertained, like to get to the scary parts, and not just be dead silence and whatever it is. So there's like natural people joking. And so a long story was like, oh man, are there too many jokes? It's like, oh dude, when we were out there filming it and we would hit cut, like, Christiel's cut, whatever. We were joking more in between takes than we did, during the actual filming. So I'm like, bro, this is true to form. We don't need to worry about there being too many. It's like, we're all out here having fun and busting each other's chops. It's a bunch of guys. So, but yeah, dude, I was blown away. I think you really nailed it. The chemistry of those three boys between Austin, Greg, and Eric, you would have assumed, yep, those guys have been friends forever. Like in the movie, just watching it, they're so authentic and just genuine. It's effortless. They really don't look like they're trying. And Kelly did the same thing. Oh yeah.
And then Brandon Keaton, we had originally asked him to do the Forest Ranger role, but then when we were out shooting and seeing where we were, it was like, oh, this is too perfect. We got to shoot here, and he wasn't available, so we switched him and asked him if he would be interested in doing one of the detectives in the film, and he said yeah. And man, dude, if he wasn't I would have believed he was a real detective in a past life. The way he just sold that whole sequence, the interrogation sequence and stuff like that. Very stern, very like I was a little, sorry, sir. Like, you know what I mean? Like he just sold it so well. So yeah, incredibly happy with all the performances in the film.
And with him too, just like all our other movies, man, whether it be sheer luck or some invisible hand guiding us through this, the fate, whatever. But it's like, oh, dog, I really believe, he was a way better detective. And not that he wouldn't have done great for the park ranger, but man, he really crushed that detective role, right? Like if we would have cast him as the park ranger, it's like, man, I don't know who would have done as good of a job at the detective.
Exactly.
So I can't believe it worked out like that. Cause we watched this stuff and it's just like, oh my gosh, dude. What a great performance. Yeah.
One of the things I'm excited about the film is that it's not just a bunch of people running around in the dark woods screaming. There is some of that, obviously. But there's overarching storyline. Overarching mystery and storyline and lore that we built out within the movie. And we have Ben Stansberry, who plays a cryptid researcher, paranormal guy. And we've met a lot of these people in our experience in the real world doing Dockside Media movies.
Yeah, and Tom Carey.
Yeah, the passion a lot of those people have for that subject matter is palpable. They can rattle off facts and blah blah blah, all the stuff you wouldn't know about that because it's just like they're absorbed into that world. And Ben, who primarily I think is a puppeteer actor, so I think this is one of his first on-screen roles, and I know he was a little nervous about it. But man, when he sat down in that chair to do the interview, I was like, dude, you're actually like a cryptid guy, aren't you? You're like,
oh, dude, the glasses,
but I don't think he was. Like, that was his acting, and he sold that so well, man.
He was a lot of fun. Yeah,
he was
did
a lot
great.
Of fun. So I hope hope people see.
He knew his line. He knew his lines front and back, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I hope he sees the movie and he gives him the confidence to realize, oh yeah, he doesn't have to. I mean, I know he loves the puppeteering stuff. But like he can be on screen and perform just as well. So yeah.
Agreed. Candace did great as well.
Oh yeah.
Too.
Yeah, she's
playing the sister of somebody. Yeah.
She didn't really quite make the trailer just because of the nature of the trailer, but she, Candace Livingston, another local actress, plays the sister to a character who goes into the New Jersey Pine Barrens, and some hijinks happen there. So this is an interview with her. Definitely played as a believable sister, more somber character because of the tragedy and stuff like that, but very, very believable. Yeah, I don't think we could have got any luckier with the cast that we were able to secure for this. And it's like,
and we had, and shout out to Candace, because I want to say we had Candace as Olivia Marr, or as Emily.
Yeah.
And you had asked her, hey, do you have anybody you can suggest to kind of to play your sister or whatever. And
Yeah,
was it her that suggested Kelly?
it was her. So Kelly,
And Chris is like,
me.
oh my gosh, yeah, I've
Yeah, we
worked
didn't
with
think
her
about her.
before.
Yeah,
Why
we
did
didn't
I
think about
not
her.
think of her? She's great.
Yeah.
And sure enough, then it was my first time where I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, this girl, yeah, she's tops, dude. She knew her lines. Just yeah, like you said, acting by yourself and not having somebody to bounce off of, certainly tough. And just given some of the scenes and what's going on, it's not a walk in the park to convey those different emotions or feelings.
No.
Without verbally stating it, right? So she has all those little micro expressions and stuff.
Oh yeah, 100%. And the one actor who from the start I even said to you, I was like, we need to get him as the professor, just because when I see him, he's got like such a, I don't know how to describe it, stately, put together look to him. And that's Paul Hood, who plays,
and he speaks eloquently as well.
And I was like, oh, we got to get him, because when I was writing this, I'm like, this is who I just picture in my head as that character. And dude didn't mess around. He showed up, and yeah, he's the professor. So yeah, awesome.
He did great.
This is like the biggest cast I've ever worked with. Like, we have a lot of people in this movie.
Yeah, between news anchors, yeah. I mean, shout out to Suji.
Hell yeah.
Suji stepped in, gave some great news anchor like reports that we could green screen. Chris did a great job then editing that, where you would think, this is just I assume this was just a regular news broadcast. I didn't realize they produced this whole thing from scratch. So yeah, Suji was massive there in bringing that together, and she works on a ton. Yeah, she's a great producer, actress. I'm trying to Roaming Shadow Productions, I think.
Multifaceted Suji, yeah. Everyone knows Suji. Everyone knows what she could do
in the Lancaster area, yeah.
Yeah, and she's obviously a good friend of mine. She was my producer on Transient. She helped. Transient is Suji and I's movie, so it was great having her in this as well. And she let us shoot in her basement and all kinds. Yeah, it's just Suji being Suji.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yep. Yeah. No, massive thanks to her. But yeah, so what a cast! I mean, yeah, dude, it was so many people.
We got our buddy Adam Hartwick in there, who played the Sasquatch in our Secrets of the Sasquatch movie. We say Adam. I got him to do something in Transient where he did like a little horror movie that plays in the background. So he's he's always the go-to guy who's like, Adam, I need this. And he's like, I got you. He'll do it. He'll make it. He made it like in a couple days. Sent us this.
Oh yeah, I think it was 48 hours later. Yeah. If this ain't good enough, let me know. I'll go back.
It's like better than the movie. It's like better than that.
Yeah, dude.
And then we were supposed to shoot here with Danielle Hartman for some more news stuff.
Pause real quick. Let's give a shout out to Shadow Alley Productions, though, who is Adam Hartwick's YouTube channel, as well as, he has a ton of these great costumes, masks. He's into all of that stuff. He does reviews on them. I think you can buy them through his website or store or whatever. But so just a shout out that Adam, massive guy stepping in and doing a news report in front of a green screen. But like Chris said, he had this full, massive Sasquatch suit, hundreds, thousands of dollars. And my man traveled hours and hours and hours to come run around in a forest for us so we could shoot slow motion B-roll and drone footage. So as people are telling their stories in Secrets of the Sasquatch, Chris can cut to it and it looks, the guy is awesome. So if you're into that type of stuff, horror masks, any of that, like into Halloween, whatever, check out Shadow Alley Productions. And Adam Hartwick, you can get yourself some really cool stuff out of there. Greg Kearns, thank you so much for the
thanks, Greg.
Props on the trailer, man. We thought it turned out really cool. For people just tuning in, we're running a crowdfunding campaign for Creature of the Pines. You can click on that or screenshot or take a photo or whatever of the support the film QR code in the top left corner of this live stream. You can go to www.creatureofthepines.com, or you can go to Indiegogo.com and search Creature of the Pines, and you'll be able to find out how you can help back the film, which Chris will have finished in March. And Chris, what are some of the cool perks that they can maybe get if they'd like to help bring this movie to life?
Right. So the main perk we're trying to get people to get on board with is the movie, obviously, but you get an early release of the movie. So when it's done in March. You get a copy of it digitally way before it actually comes out. And the reason for that is this movie we're going to submit to a bunch of film festivals. So it's going to have a festival run, which can take months to almost a year. And then beyond that, we'll sign with a distributor at some point, and doing the deliverable process and all that before the movie actually gets a release date usually takes at least 3 months, if not longer, potentially 6 to 9 months. And so what we wanted to do is we need a little bit of funding to help bring the movie over the finish line. And we thought, well, let's really, get the people who are really invested, really want to see it. They get it when it's just done. They don't have to wait another year to see the movie. It's not going to be some prolonged thing. So let's offer that as the main perk for the film. So you can get that for $50. It is more expensive, obviously, than just renting the movie, but you're actually helping us make the movie. You'll be in the credits. You'll be forever shrined as being a part of Creature of the Pines, and then you get it early as well. But then we have another perk, which is what's it called? The
Pine Files?
The
or
Pine
something
Files.
like that?
Yes, the Pine Files, which is you get a copy of the movie early still, but then you also get this behind-the-scenes featurette, which will be like 20-ish minutes long, with commentary and stuff from Tyler and I. We talk about how we made the movie. You'll get the footage from behind the scenes. You also get some deleted scenes because we shot so much more than we needed to in this movie, especially with a lot of the background and the lore and the interviews. So this will help fill out the world. So you'll get that big featurette with some behind the scenes footage and the bonus scenes that were cut. And then also there's going to be this kind of PDF booklet, which will have all the lore kind of built out for the world in the movie. So you can get that for $100. And then, of course, we have limited producer credits available, 5 producer credits, but you will be known as one of the producers of Creatures of the Pine. You get obviously you get access to the movie and the Pine Files and all that stuff. So you can check all that out at Creature of the Pines.
And then your name comes up on screen, right?
Yep, in the opening
Produced
credits
by.
Yeah. So you'll get that and all that at creatureofthepines.com. If that's not working, look for one of the links in the chat here directly to the Indiegogo, or go on to the Indiegogo and just search for Creature of the Pines. It should come up. We would appreciate if you're on the fence, but you're like, I'm going to do it, but you're going to wait. If you don't wait, that would be awesome, because the earlier we get activity on the Indiegogo page, the more Indiegogo feeds it into the algorithm so other people can see it. So it's important when you're running one of these crowdfunding campaigns to get it as much interaction up front as possible. But obviously times are tough right now, understandably so. So if you can't contribute to the film, no worries. Just, share it if you can. That would be awesome as well. Share the link, share the trailer, whatever you can. Either way, this movie's coming out. Just a matter of when you get access to it. And that's it, right?
Yep. Knocked it out of the park.
Bam.
Those are the perks.
Any other questions about the movie? If you're out there,
Yeah, is anybody watching that? Yeah.
Leave some comments, leave some questions. That would help out. We let me see. What time is it? It's 2:00. We're running this for almost an hour and a half. We'll run it a little bit longer, and then we'll call it quits for now. But we'll be back doing some more live streams. We have 31 days to fund the film, so we'll be back. Always time to leave your questions and comments in the video chat or in the video link. What's your favorite found footage movie out there? Tyler, that was one thing. You're not a horror guy. I made you make a horror movie.
No. Yeah, Chris made me, do a horror movie. But that's why there's a lot of jokes in there. Because I was like, no. Yeah. I really, well, let me back it up real quick. Dockside Media again, we've released already 7 paranormal documentaries. They're all real. Alien abductions, UFOs, Sasquatch, ghost hunting, etc. Same deal with that. Chris and I, we don't watch a ton of documentaries on aliens, ghosts, Sasquatch. We don't. I mean, it's just not our cup of tea. So I'm not it's not new to me to make something and make it well and entertaining and have a good story of like something that I personally don't go and consume myself. Like, one, I believe in Chris and all the work that he's done. And Chris is just, I don't know. We're a great team where it's like, dude, all of our docs have all more than made back the production costs. We're not rich. We're not retiring our parents or anything like that. But it's cool that 2 dudes were able to create a documentary production company out of thin air and actually get distribution deals and generate revenue and all that stuff, like a decent amount. So this thing with, I'm not into horror movies, period. And I'm not into found footage.
Yeah.
And not that I'm against it or hate it. It's just, I like action and action comedies, maybe like a mystery or suspense or something like that. CIA, that kind of stuff, or just a straight up comedy or something sports related. And Chris, on the other hand, is he's always been horror. I mean, he's loved horror since he was a baby. So this was a great process where, I didn't doubt for a second that this thing would be good. It would be scary and it would have a great story, just because I know the type of guy Chris is and I know the type of guy that I am. And it's like, oh, dude, if we put our heads together, I guarantee you we can have this thing buttoned up tight where man, it's really good. And so I love it. I like doing stuff that I don't personally enjoy, like,
Well, what I appreciate about it is the way you push back, or your suggestions are very out of the box and not predictable for the genre or for horror movies. Like, you know what I mean? Or sometimes they are in a generic way that appeals more to a mass audience, because I'm pretentious with horror stuff and pretentious in general, maybe, where it's like, I want to do it more thoughtful, or, you know what I mean? I just get up in my own head and think I'm super smart or some bullshit. But the way you will, like, no, this will appeal to these, and I was like, all right, yeah, actually, that's a good point. So that's the stuff that I really appreciate about working with you, and about the fact that you didn't like have it. You had never even, you had seen Blair Witch, but you hadn't really. I made you watch like a couple other found footage movies just to get a kind of an idea of what we're going to be doing.
Yep. But it was crazy that the ones he recommended, like, it was weird that by that point, I think a lot of the scripts Chris had written and had been sent to me and had been massaged and things change. But like, so then I'm watching these movies that he suggests, and it's like, oh, dude, these are some great things they did. And it was crazy that a number of the things I really liked were already
in
the movie. And a lot of those, not a lot of them, but some of them, it was like, oh my gosh, dude, I can't believe between you and I going back and forth, we decided on this, whatever it particularly was. And it was like, oh my, like, yeah, it wasn't in there originally. I can't believe just on our own, we ended up getting to figuring out a lot of the good points of found footage or horror movies, or things that stuck out to me, like not watching them. And certainly with you watching a lot as you were writing it, you're trying to build in that stuff, knowing that it works. But even Chris, do you want to speak to yourself, where you consume so much content, especially horror related, between Bad Movie Night and what you film and produce, just what you watch in your free time with your girlfriend or your kids, that you're like desensitized, right? You've told me, like, dude, I don't know if this is scary. I can't tell.
Yeah, it's the same thing with comedy. It's the same thing with a lot of things, especially when you're in it. When you are editing and you are spending hours and hours looking at the same footage over and over again, cleaning up, whatever. you lose perspective on the effectiveness of some things. And while I can edit something and feel like this is the natural time in my head, maybe the music background helps because I've always been a musician since I was like 10 or whatever. So like there's a lot of rhythm to a scene, I think, as well. And very specifically with dramatic or comedic moments, you can maybe intuitively feel when the right time something is, or you can feel when it's not right. So I can edit in that way, where it's because like I see posts on Reddit, and you see like the marketing campaigns where it's like, this actor almost threw up because this effect was so disturbing, and it's like I've been on set where that happens, where there's an effect and it's not disturbing. You see how the sausage is made. You see it's not scary when you're making something. In this way, in this found footage thing, it's a little. I remember some of the stuff we've made for the documentaries is a little scary because if you're on the 4th floor of a haunted, mansion or whatever, and you're by yourself and there's clowns all around you, yeah, that's a little scary. It's a little unnerving. But
yeah.
So editing this stuff, it's like, I don't know. I feel like this is scary. Maybe, I don't know. It's not scaring me because I've been looking at this for, hours and hours to days or weeks or months or whatever. Yeah. So, and I don't have the perspective not knowing anything. I know every detail. I know how it was made. I know how it was shot. I know which take is good and which take is bad. So that all loses, the scareability to me. But also, like, because of I'm a huge horror guy. I've seen so many horror movies. There's very few movies that scare me. The movie that scared me last was The Dark and the Wicked, which is probably an obscure horror movie that most people don't know about, but it's made by the same guy who made The Strangers, the original Strangers. He made this movie called The Dark and the Wicked. So if you're a horror person, you're looking for something real creepy, that's one I recommend. So that actually scared me a little bit. But going back to the scares of this movie, the thing that was awesome about putting together this trailer is I was able to put so much stuff in here, and we didn't even scratch the surface for like the real scares of the movie. You know what I mean? Like there's so many scares that aren't in this thing. So, because a lot of times it feels like I'm like, oh, I got to give away like the biggest moment of the movie because we don't have much else to show. And this, it's like we have so much to show. I was able to show so much in the trailer, and still like the majority and all the really, really, really big set pieces and scares and stuff aren't even in it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I feel really, I think that's why I feel so confident about this movie being super entertaining for people and hopefully super scary.
Yep. I have no doubt about it. We've got a good eye and feeling for this, Chris. So, no doubt. I don't know how you could watch that trailer and not be like, oh my gosh, dude, this is a bona fide movie, man. This is a great story, great intensity, and I love it. It still blows my mind every day I wake up, man. Like, dude, how are we making these things?
Well, me too, but that's
other
because
than
of my crippling
thinking
heart
about it. Right. But a lot of it, man, for people out there that want to do something, make something, the biggest thing is just moving your feet, dude. Chris and I, we don't stop moving our feet.
Yeah. So Aaron says, any thoughts on making documentaries related, but outside of your comfort zone of horror? I don't think I have or I don't know if I want to delve into real dramatic stuff. That stuff can take a toll on you personally. If I start putting my life into some traumatic event or some sort of awful thing and talking through that and meeting with people, like that's not really the reason we did Dockside Media and we chose the paranormal stuff, was because we thought it'd be fun. And I stick by that. It's not to mean that we don't take their stories seriously, but there's an entertainment aspect of the paranormal stuff that I'll speak for myself, that I latch onto. Because I am, what's the word I'm looking for, Tyler? I'm not like a true believer.
You're skeptic.
I'm a skeptic.
Yeah.
But we don't portray, in the interview, we try to take the interviews and just blast them out to the world, because we always get people who believe what they're saying. We don't want to get someone who just says stuff to be entertaining. Like all the people we've interviewed in our movies and stuff like that, they all believe what they're saying, and I think that's important. But we did, you know what? We did contemplate doing that one music documentary with that one band. Remember?
Oh well, yeah. You're talking about the verb
The
pipe.
verb pipe, yeah.
The verb pipe, and it was like, yeah, I forget what the title of the doc was going to be, like merely freshmen or something, whatever it was, and it was like about how they were that one hit wonder. And I spoke to their manager.
We were this close to making that happen.
I spoke to Brian Vander Ark, whatever, the lead singer of the verb pipe, and he's like, oh yeah, no, I'm into this, dude. Yeah, run this by my manager. I'm like, okay, what the hell's going on? And then the manager was kind of into it, but then he's like, yeah, I mean, right now can't do it. I don't know. So there was that one thing, and I was just like, oh, from a nostalgia sense, dog, all the peeps that grew up in the 90s with us, they might just go, what, like, oh, merely freshmen? Dude, I remember that. So, yo, dude, I'll watch that just to go relive the 90s.
Song's a banger.
See, like, oh. So there was that. There was talk and discussion of, like a true crime documentary, right, Chris? I mean, we had discussed it at different times. I think to Chris's point, what he mentioned earlier, like going into a prison and interviewing a murderer or something, like, I feel like that may weigh on me some too.
Yeah.
I don't know. These other ones with the ghosts and aliens and Sasquatch, it's like, oh, dude, these. Well, one, opposite of Chris, I'm more like open-minded. I'm like, I don't know, dude. Universe is a big place. Who knows? Who knows what's lurking out there? Extra dimensions, all that stuff. And I love going on because these things are like adventures, bro. Like I'm going out camping with people I don't know, looking for a Sasquatch. How dope is that? Chris and I rolling up to Gettysburg, the Battle of Gettysburg, dog. I mean, the place, like, one, we investigated with some ghost hunters and a medium and these other people on property right by the battlefields.
Yeah.
And battles had occurred there. But then we have the freaking privilege of going to the battlefield, getting the one person who's had the experiences there. He just so happens to be a Civil War reenactor with all the regalia. So we go and shoot B-roll to use in the film of a dude dressed as a Civil War soldier. I mean, like, I don't know when else in my life am I ever going to be able to go walk on the Gettysburg battlefield with a guy dressed like a soldier and film this stuff where when you look at it, it's like, oh my, that could have been made in Hollywood. I would have never guessed it was two knuckleheads out there creating a documentary. And that was our second one, right? We're very early on in it.
I think
so. Dude, I love these adventures. It's so fun to just be able to go out and do that stuff. And like, I just always am tickled pink. Man, just the circumstances that got us here. Like, if I would have wanted to teach myself filmmaking 25 years ago, I don't know if I would have had the tenacity or gumption to see it through. If I had to, like, film on tape and then cut that tape and tape it together on this big editing board or whatever BS it was. So and things like literally, I think it was the year before we filmed The Ghost of Gettysburg, or 6 months before, there was just a case in the Supreme Court where it was like, oh, you can film in national parks commercially as long as you have a crew 5 or less. And it's what? We don't even have to go get permission? Like, are you kidding me? And I had actually, at that time, we were very early on, so I had called and checked just to make sure. And she was like, yeah, no, you're fine. You can't impede visitors' movements to the sites. And so we've done that, just that whole thing about the national parks. Like, that's why we could go down and film in front of the Lincoln Memorial and film that, Anjali giving her interview for Conscious Contact Full Disclosure, or her press conference, all these things. It's just like, man, The timing is just perfect. And same deal where, dude, it took 7 documentaries, an unreleased documentary yet, or that's being edited, this docu-series that's going to be released here and is being picked up for distribution. But like, it took all that to where, man, when we went out to film Creature of the Pines, like, dude, we had the utmost like, oh, this is gonna look good, this is gonna do good, man. When we went and filmed those talking head interviews, like when you see them in the movie, yeah, the first 2/3 of the movie, people might assume this is just this is a Dockside Media documentary, right? You may not even think it is that it's a found footage horror film until you get, you know, into it a good bit, because it looks like all our other stuff. And yeah, it just took all those other reps and all those other films to build this nice, consistent kind of look and help finesse our storytelling and all these things. Just the timing is just great, man. I can't believe it. So what's up, Chris? We've been going here for over an hour and a half.
Yeah, I think it's probably a good ending point for now. We'll be back with more stuff. We have a lot more to show with the movie. We have some exclusive clips we'll be posting over the next month or so. We'll be live again a few times here and there to talk about the movie more. And we appreciate anyone who has contributed to the campaign, help support the movie Creature of the Pines. You can go to that QR code up there if you want to get in on that. Like you said, you get early access to the movie, which is the big deal. So check it out, creatureofthepines.com. Leave a comment on this video recording. If you have any questions, we'll answer them the next time we're live. And yeah, we just really appreciate everyone checking out the movie, checking out the trailer, and especially if you help support the film. So look for it. creatureofthepines.com.
Righteous.
All right, guys.
Well done. Thanks, everybody.